Today, the topic will be on community-based mental health. I'm not sure what is your expectation, because I see there are a lot of people from school, from church, and when we talk about community-based mental health, I'm not sure what is your expectation, but we can get to that later. Okay, right? So this is the outline that we are going to talk about today. What is community-based approach? How to make it community-based. Second one is community mental health. I may share a little bit more on what is mental health, and we are going to this is a good number of people. We are going to discuss to do some case study as well. And then at the end, I will share a little bit of our practice in my organization, how we practice that. Okay? All right. So, I don't use the mic, it's okay? Okay, great. Right. So, this is some introduction about myself. My name is Mason. I'm a counseling psychologist, or I'm also a licensed counselor in Malaysia. I did my master in counseling in University in Malaysia, and I work with refugee and stateless for the past about 3 years, right? So maybe I can share one incident that when I first do counseling with the students, I noticed that whatever that I learned in my master course in the university is not so much applicable to what I do on the ground, right? Why? Because when I was doing my master, my lecturer all teach me about the clinical or professional setting of counseling, right? Where you need to wait for the client to come to you, right? You need to be in a clinical setting, you need to have a room, you need to have a CCTV and all these things, right? But when I go into the community, I don't have all this kind of stuff. On the ground, working with refugee, I don't have a specific room for myself, yeah? And there are times where I just have a conversation or counseling session with a student in a playground, yeah? So that is the community, the difference that I see between what I have been trained for and what I do on the ground, yeah? So that's why I thought that there's a need for community counseling. What is a community-based approach of counseling? Right? So that is a little bit of what I have experienced. So I can also share one incident that I have with one student, right? This student is from Myanmar. He's 9 years old, right? When I first saw him. And why did I first talk to him, or the teacher refer him to me? It's because he was drawing something on the paper, and he tells the teachers that he wants to kill the father. Right? And of course, this is something that very sudden, right? And the teacher referred to him to me, and then I have a conversation with them. And only then I realized that the reason why he wants to kill the father is because the father has been drinking, and the father has been being very abusive towards the mother, right? And of course, I continue to do counseling for him, individual counseling, yeah, to help him and stuff like that. And the counseling session was well, but the thing is, after some time, the father, because only by doing individual counseling for him, I cannot solve the problem. I can help him to treat or even train him, share with him, how can you manage your own emotion and stuff like that. I can do that for him. But when he goes back to home, the problem is still there. The father is still drinking, the father is still abusing the mother, and I cannot solve the problem, yeah, as a counselor, right? So this posed the problem that I face. So what happened next is myself and also the co-worker, we went into the family, we do home visitation, we talked to the father about this issue, about the drinking habit that he has. And at the beginning, when we have conversation, he said that, okay, he will stop drinking. We even talked to him and encouraged him to go for rehabilitation, go to a center to do a rehab. And he promised us, okay, he can do that and stuff like that. But when a rehab center called him and asked him, okay, are you ready to come? He rejected them, right? So we spent so much time, we went to the house for a few times, and then he just rejected like that. And it's not easy for a refugee to go into a rehab center in Malaysia, because not many rehab centers want to take in refugee, because you are not paying money for that, right? So after that, he continues to drink, and he didn't go to the rehab center, yeah? And these issues continue, and of course we have a lot of different people to work with this family. Yeah, we even have a church worker, someone that goes to church to journey with this family. And true enough, thank God, one day, I think it was maybe 3 years ago, on the Easter day, we work with the mother because we know that the father, no matter how much we talk to him, is not working anymore. So we work with the mother, encourage the mother to address this behavior that the husband has, right? At the beginning, she cannot talk to the husband about this and stuff like that, until the point where I think she told us it's during the Easter day. She straightforwardly told the husband, it's either you continue to stay here, but you need to stop drinking, or you leave this house, right? After she told the husband, true enough, he stopped drinking, yeah, and it's good, it's a good thing. However, 6 months later, we found out that the boy that I counseled previously was admitted into hospital, right? And what happened is the father relapsed, and not only he drink alcohol, now he doesn't drink alcohol, but he took drug. And because he took drug, he couldn't control his own emotion, and he abused the son. And the son ended up in the hospital. And because of this, the son got taken out from the house, placed in the shelter, and after that, he referred back to us, right? Because in my previous organization, we also have a shelter. When I first saw him, 9 years old, he was a very bright student. He's very smart, yeah? He can listen to me and stuff like that. But about 1 year later, when I see him again, with all this experience that he go through, he was a very difficult child. In the classroom, he will just not respect the teachers. He even beat the other students, yeah? And this happened to him, okay? So, of course, it's difficult because right now I'm not working with him anymore. I don't know what is the situation, but the last that I have a conversation, phone call with him, he said that, oh, he's doing very well and stuff like that. But when I check with other teachers, no, yeah. So I just want to share a little bit of stories about this issue, right? Even though I'm working on the ground, I may not be able to solve the problem that's happening for this client or this case that I have, yeah. So that is a little bit of what I want to share with all of you about myself. So, what is community-based counseling? Community-based mental health, yeah? There are a lot of different approaches of helping, right? Whenever we want to help another person, we expect that it's an expert to help, right? For example, in school, teachers are the expert, the students are the one that receive from the expert, okay? Or even I think in this room, there's a social worker, there's a counselors and teachers a lot, right? Or even pastors. Pastors, you are probably seen as an expert. You are there to lead and guide the church members, for example, right? So the first one is everything done is to us and without us. So in this approach of helping, it is very medical model. For example, the doctor do something to you. You cannot do anything. In the surgery room, you cannot do anything, right? It's the doctor that do everything for you. Yeah? Doctor is an expert. So this is nothing regarding the patient or the client. Okay? And another approach is for, right? Everything done is done for us. Us is the beneficiaries, right? For example, I do something for you. You don't have clothes, I give you clothes. I give these clothes for you. I donate things for you, right? So this is also, we also address certain needs of the beneficiaries, but then the beneficiaries don't need to do anything, just receive, okay? So it is still working together in a way, but the beneficiaries just receive, okay? So that is what we call as a charity model, yeah? The person that help is also an expert, yeah? We go and help. So now, this is on top. So what happened is there's this, where the expert actually go down to the ground, right? This is nothing for us without us, right? So this is very much a social model. You see this photo here? It's they are working with the beneficiaries together, right? So where there's a co-design, co-production, or we even look at the asset-based approach, where we look at what is the strength of this community has, the beneficiary has, okay? So this is with, yeah? And the last one, is this. By. This is done by us and this is for us. Just now I mentioned us is the beneficiaries. So for example, in the refugee context, it will be refugee doing something for the refugee themselves. Yeah, that is by. So this is totally or entirely asset-based community development. It's a community develop themselves, right? So this is a different approaches of helping. And hopefully, by the end of this session, all of us can understand that we should go from imagine or just we are the expert, just think that we are an expert, we are able to go down to the ground to work with the people, or hopefully by the end of it, they are able to work by themselves. Okay, so that is the hope that I have for the end of this session. So, why do we want to go down to the ground? If you can turn to Philippians chapter 2, verse 4 to 8. Or I will also show it here for you. I'll read it for all of us. Not looking to your, this is Paul writing, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others. In your relationship with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus, who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness, and being found in appearance as a man. He humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. Yeah. So from this passage, we can understand and we can see that Jesus actually go down to the ground. Yeah. Jesus was God, right? He was with God. Yeah. But he made this intentional effort to come down to earth and stay with us as a human. Yeah. And he did not take advantage at all. Because I'm God, that's why you need to listen to me. Right? He did not say that. And that is the reason why, if let's say all of us are Christian believers, we are supposed to be Christ-like. Yeah? Then maybe we need to look at Jesus as an example to do whatever that he's doing, right? So this is, in a way, we call it an incarnation of Christ, yeah, on earth. Okay? So, what is community-based approach? This is a revised definition that I take from UNHCR. Community-based approach is a way of working in partnership with community, engaging and empowering them during all stages of process of operation, from assessment to planning, decision-making, organizing, execution, and management. Yeah? It recognizes the resilience, capacities, knowledge, skills, resources, and leadership of the community. Build on this to deliver sustainable and culturally appropriate development and solutions, and support the community's own goal in addressing their needs and challenges. And that is what we define, or how we define as community-based approach. Yeah, it's very long, yeah, but the important thing is we are in partnership with the community, and we recognize their own resilience, all the strengths that they have. Okay, and of course, at the end of it, hopefully the goal that we can achieve is sustainable and culturally appropriate. Because a lot of times when we are an expert, we think that, okay, this is what is best for you, just do this. But maybe this is not what they are thinking. This is not what they want, right? Just now I mentioned the four, right? The charity model. A lot of us, or even a lot of churches, or even good-hearted people, I cannot say that you don't have a good intention. Some of us, we have a good intention. And we think that we have a lot of clothes at home, and we want to donate clothes to old folks' home or children's home, right? But have you thought about it before? Actually, whatever that we do doesn't really address the need that they have. Yeah, maybe they don't need clothes, but we just think that, oh, I have a lot of clothes at home, I want to do good, I donate. Yeah, it doesn't help them actually. When is the appropriate time to donate clothes? It's when there's a natural disaster that happens. For example, flood, earthquake, and these are when they don't have even clothes already. That is when it is suitable for you to donate clothes to them, right? In normal setting, children's home and all these things, they don't need clothes. Yeah, so it is so important for us to do something that is culturally appropriate, or even address the needs of the community or the beneficiaries that we have. Okay, right. So how then do we make sure, or how then do we make it into a community approach? So these are a few things that we can do. First one is to understanding of the ground is the basic. Yeah, we need to understand what is happening on the ground. Talk to the community people, talk to the ground worker, and of course make it contextualized. Yeah, so that is the basic. If really we want to work with the people on the ground, we need to understand them, because we are going down, right? As an expert, we go down to the ground. We need to understand them first. So that is the first one. Next one is involved and participatory, right? Just now we mentioned that in the entire process of decision making, planning, and all those things, involve them, because they also have some thoughts. Yeah, they also have their opinion. They maybe know a lot more than you on the ground, right? Yeah. So that is something that is very important in the process of operation. Involve them, allow them to participate. And the third one is always look at the best interest of the community or of the individual, right? When we talk about best interest of the community, we also need to be wise at times, right? Because sometimes maybe the students can tell me that my best interest is to stay away from my father and don't see him at all, right? But this may not be healthy and safe for him, right? Because we don't want family to go part ways, right? So in a certain sense, it may not be the best interest of it, okay? We could have just report police and then let the police catch the father, and then they will never see each other again, right? But maybe sometimes it is not the best interest, yeah? So we also need to be wise as a parent. You know your child is making some decision that is not healthy for him or her, not safe for him or her. We need to know when to address that, okay? So we need to do something that is of the best interest of the community. And the fourth one is asset-based community development. We need to look at what is the asset that the community people have, right? When you are working with the children, for example, in the school, how do you draw out the strength that the student has? Yeah, look at the asset that they have and continue to build on that, okay? For example, in a rural area, there's this organization called Epic Home in Malaysia. They go into the rural area and help them build house, yeah? And they don't just have people go and build house and then build for them, no. They engage with the community people, because the community people have hands and feet, right? They can also do something. So they engage the people, have the community people to together build the house, right? Because their own strength, labor work is also an asset, yeah, from the community. And next one is, we want to ensure that whatever that we do is meaningful, purposeful, and sustainable. I think a lot of times churches or even some corporates, they want to do one-off thing, right? During Christmas, go to the children's home, do a Christmas event, finish, that's all, goodbye, right? But this is not sustainable. It may be meaningful to you, but it may not be meaningful to them, right? I strongly disagree with us going to the old folks home or children's home and run a Christmas event for one day. Why? Imagine the children are being abandoned by the parents, yeah, at the home, right? They feel the feeling of abandonment. And when we go into the home and build a short-term relationship, like a one day, half a day, you play with them and stuff like that, they maybe grew a little bit of attachment with you, right? And then after you finish, you go back. The feeling of abandonment happened to them again. They experience the feeling of abandonment again. So why do we want to create the same issue or same problem that they have faced before, right? So most of the time, a solution, I know that church also still want to do something for the children's home, for example, or even corporates want to do something, right? So another solution would be, you bring the children from the children's home out from the house so that you don't enter their space, right? You could bring them to a resort, yeah? Everyone play in a resort and then everyone part way. Because psychologically, the children knows that they still have to go back to the home. They are coming out, right? It is not you enter to their home, yeah? So this is maybe another more better solution. Instead of you going to the house, bring them out. Go to the zoo, go to the park, have some activity outside of the house. Because eventually they know that they have to part way, okay? Last one is to have a triple win situation. Definitely there are a lot of stakeholders, right? There's beneficiaries, there's community people, the ground worker, the staff, and also donors. Donors want to ensure that whatever that I give the money to achieve certain goals or certain expectation that I have or certain target that I have. So it is very important for us to have a triple win situation. So a lot of conversation need to happen so that whatever that we do, the plans that we have, benefits the people on the ground, the community people, benefits maybe the NGO workers on the ground, also benefits the donors who are supporting financially, for example. Yeah. So we need to have some comprehensive or holistic plan so that everyone can win in this situation. It's not just a win-win situation. Okay, right? So any questions so far regarding this? Yeah. So this is a little bit of tips on how to make it a community-based approach. So now, let us go to community mental health. Okay. What is mental health? Anyone? I know there are a lot of practitioners here, so maybe they don't answer. Anyone, what is mental health? Yes.
It is something.
No need to stand, it's okay.
The conditioning of your mind and
Okay.
the way of thinking,
Okay.
your brain,
Okay, very good.
to be healthy.
Okay.
How's the health of it?
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Yes. Anyone else want to add? What is mental health? So maybe give me a show of hand. If let's say you know a lot about mental health, you can put 5. If you know nothing about mental health at all, you put 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 0. 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how much do all of you know? You can just lift up your hand and show me. You know 5, 4, 3, 2, 0. Someone 0, 3, 3, 2, 4. Okay, very good. So I'll share a little bit what is mental health. And also the differences with mental illness. So first one, mental health is just like what our brother have mentioned. Mental health is a state or condition of mental well-being that enables people to cope with stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well, work well, and contribute to their community, including how they think. Yeah? So that is mental health. And whatever that I listed here is the indicator of good mental health. Okay? Where you are able to be resilient to stress, where you are able to empathize with another person, where you are able to be flexible, or even have a stable relationship with one another, have productive behavior, a sense of belonging, have self-confidence, have a clear thinking, ability to, take care of ourselves and also others, and sense of well-being and contentment, right? This is an indicator of good mental health, right? Then what is mental illness? And it's very important for us to be able to differentiate what is mental health and mental illness, okay? Mental illness is defined as a health condition that affects a person's thinking, feeling, behavior, or mood. Such condition may affect someone's ability to relate to others and function each day. And these are the indicators of mental illness, right? When someone withdraws from people or the usual activities that they have. They are feeling numb, they have a disordered thinking and speeches, they experience severe mood swing, they have hallucination or delusion. This is more on psychotic. Yeah? Inability to perform daily tasks, they are helpless or hopeless. They feel that sudden change or unusual behavior, right? And we need to understand that mental health is not limited to schizophrenia, right? Back in Malaysia, a lot of people think that those who have schizophrenia have mental illness, but that is not just it, right? And of course, for people with mental illness, they would require professional diagnosis and help, okay? So for example, if let's say I feel very sad today because I broke up with my girlfriend, then can I say that I have depression? If I cry for 3 days, can I say that I have depression? If I cry for a month, can I say that I have depression?
Yes.
Who say yes? And who say no?
Yes. It's like extreme depression.
Extreme depression. Okay, right. So I think this is where we need professionals' help to see whether this person has depression. So for the professionals, for example, psychologists or psychiatrists, they have, we call it a Bible of mental health, to check whether if you fulfill the criteria, then only you are considered as having mental health or mental illness, sorry, not mental health. Okay? Of course, if let's say you are together with this person for 7 years and then you break up, and if you cry for 1 month, I think it is actually fair for you to cry for 1 month, right? If let's say you have already spent so much time with this person, yeah. So I may not say that this is depression. If let's say to the point where you can't eat, you don't want to eat, you even want to maybe take your own life because this person is not with you anymore, then yes, this may be a high indicator of you having a depression. And that is when we need to seek professional help. Okay? And we need to truly understand what is mental health, right? So for example, you all know your own physical health. Everyone healthy today? Yes? Anyone fall sick? No? So this, on top of it, is a spectrum of physical health. We may feel sick, we may be ill, and at the center we may be healthy, and at the end of it we may be very fit, right? So when you are on the left, your left hand side, when you are sick or when you are ill, what do? You see a doctor, okay? So imagine when you are in a healthy state, what do you actually do? Sorry? Work. Okay, so what do you do for you to stay healthy? Drink water, okay. Is this what your mother tell you every day? Yes.
Eat well,
Okay.
sleep well, exercise.
Okay, very good. So that is what you do to ensure that you are healthy, right? So what do you do actually when you are fit?
Exercise.
Yes. Is it just exercise? Good diet, yes, just now. So when you are fit, it's like you have 6 packs. Wow. Yeah. So what do you, sorry? How about 4? Depends on your own interpretation, right? So when someone who is really, really fit, that is when they really maybe go to gym every day. Yeah? Okay? So there are certain activities for them to be involved in to ensure that they are in a healthy level, right? At different stage. Similarly, mental health is the same as well, right? Mental health is a spectrum. So when we are mentally ill, so this is when we have mental illness. So what do? We seek professional help, right? So when we are mentally healthy, what do we normally do? Maybe you have a good friend that support you. You can always have conversation. Whenever you stress, you share with this person. That is what you can do to ensure that you are mentally healthy, right? Or maybe you do reflection, you pray, meditation. That is what you do. So how about mentally fit? You are highly productive. Okay? So even when stress comes to you, something that is very big to your life, like making certain life decision, yeah, you are still able to manage that. Okay? Maybe because you have been practicing a lot of self-care, for example, or maybe you have been being able to process a lot of your emotion regularly. Every day you do that. So when things happen to you, you are still able to do that. Okay? Yes, you should raise up your hand just now. No, okay. Right. So what do we actually do when we are on this spectrum? Yeah. Similarly, when we have physical health, we do something. We seek help and stuff like that. So on the spectrum of mental health, it's the same as well. Yeah. When we have some challenges, some stresses, we do something for our own mental health. Okay? Right, so that is a little bit of mental health. Now, I want to have a case study. So maybe we will break into groups, just group together. At the back, you can break into another 2 groups. We are going to have this case study, right? This is where we are going to talk about community mental health. So, Dave is a 14-year-old boy who was caught with sexual abuse material, pornography, in his phone at school. when the school counselor talks to him, he revealed that he saw his father watch it before, secretly, in the room. And the students in the school are also sharing these materials with one another. So, one, okay, are you all done? Yes, okay, this group is done. Done? 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 Okay, great. Y'all can come back. So maybe we have this group to share first. What? So you are the school counselor, right? Let us listen to them, okay? So what are you going to do as a school counselor? Yes, yes. No need, it's okay.
So we talk about we need to talk to the boy, the 14-year-old boy, and also to talk to his parents.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, we talk about how to educate or have some forum about this. I think sexual education.
Mm.
Yeah, for them to be open to know the consequences, the cause and effects of watching, and also to input biblical principles about sexual about sexual matters. And after that, we're going to have counseling for a follow-up.
Okay. So you are saying that you are going to talk to the student.
And then lastly, propose them an activity. I mean, a sport that could distract them, or at least
Okay.
they would find themselves enjoying.
Do you mention about the ring that you all discussed?
Purity ring.
Okay.
Yes, the purity.
So purity ring. So what do you want to do with that?
I will just discuss it.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not part
you are
of
the school counselor. So what are you going to do?
That
So you want the school to have this purity
that's
ring?
just one of the activity that is included here in discussing the biblical principles to them. So the ring will serve as a purity vow.
Okay, only for the student. For the student that got caught, thief. Okay, all the students, the entire school.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Next group. It's okay. Don't worry. There's no right or wrong answer.
So first is we're going to invite Dave for a conversation. We will ask questions like what happened, when did it happen, where did it happen, and why did it happen. And then listen because if I want him to understand him, I need to understand him first before proceeding to giving suggestions. And then observe how he answers questions because sometimes they have this prepared. If ever they will be caught in act, they already know what the answer. So my heart is so. And then next is inform the parents what happened in school, and since it was already written in the board that the father was also doing it or watching pornography, and observe how they unite as a family at home, and journey with them to their family, and how do they do activities at home or in school. And at the same time, as a counselor, I will create a plan when to meet Dave from time to time and ask him questions. How is he? How's life going to him? Or if there are activities that makes him busy, or if not, I can suggest and create.
Okay.
bonding.
Okay. That's all.
Yeah, that's.
Thank you. Are you doing anything for the entire school? Because they do something for the entire school, like purity ring. So are you all doing anything for the entire school?
It depends.
Okay. So you all haven't discussed about it, right? Okay. Good. This group. Yes.
Okay, I think the context is pretty brief, so I think we assume this is a first encounter.
Okay.
So basically, I think first encounter, the counselor will need to give. I think the main focus still fall into Dave. So need to tell him that whatever that his father doing is actually wrong, and also at the right time also giving him the more healthy value. But of course the entire case is actually linked to a lot of students. So we thought that it's also a great opportunity to have a section talks among everyone. So, but whether would need to link to a parents and the family, I think that could be the potential lead after few sessions and so. Otherwise, I think if we right away talk to a parents, I think it's a breach of trust between the daycare and the counselor. That eventually might not be a healthy relationship for both of them to continue more session in the future.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. This group, yes.
Could I write there?
Oh, sure. But we need to be quicker, faster.
I'll make it faster.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you move it?
Yes. Yes.
This is the counselor,
Ah.
right? The school counselor.
Yes.
And this is the mother.
Okay.
And this is the father.
Yes.
And this is the child.
Dave.
The son.
D.
The son. He's
Okay.
a
Yes.
boy,
Okay.
right? So, as a counselor, I will call up first the mother,
Okay.
without the father and the son.
Okay.
I will do some initial report and investigate why this pornographic in the cell phone spread on the classmates. I will report it to the mom, initial report. Then I will call another round with mother and the son. And I will tell the mother that she will tell her son that what he do is immorally wrong. And he will also tell his father that she will report to the father that it was accidentally that the son leaked on him when he was secretly watching the pornographic. So I will tell him that it is immorally wrong. So the second call again, way back, when we call these two, that's the counseling
Okay.
thing. Then I will call another round.
Third round.
Three call-ups. The three of them.
Okay.
So he will get disciplined.
So
And
discipline
the
as in
father will
punish.
be carefully.
Your Philippines got rotten.
Why did I do this? Why I have to call the first call up? Why do I have to call the mother? Because there are possibilities that the son will tell a lie. He will deny that I don't spread the video. So he will pinpoint others.
Okay.
Also, the father will deny that I didn't watch pornographic. Like I don't know.
Okay. Yes.
So that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. I think most of you, because you are not a school counselor, so you don't need to really think hard how to address this, right? So, but I think you all have caught a few points that I want to address. First one is definitely we need to have an individual counseling with the son, right? To talk about what actually happened, like the other group mentioned just now at the back, yeah? And then to continue to have counseling session to follow up with this boy, or even suggest some healthy activities for this boy to engage in, yeah? Second one, I think maybe only one group mentioned is to talk to the friends, right? Because the friends are all also sharing this pornography material, yeah? And I think some groups, this group like really engage into this, like how to address this with the family, right? And yes, definitely we need to engage with the family. We need to address this. And I think the other group also mentioned that maybe we cannot address this to the family. But, sorry, can I ask, are you from Singapore? Yeah. So I think sometimes there are certain legal authority or how much a school counselor can do that may affect what we can do, okay? So for example, maybe in Singapore, you have certain rules and regulations that, okay, maybe this you cannot address to the parents. It has to be something else, yeah? But when we are working with, for example, refugee community, there's no so much of a regulation or governance, yeah? And ultimately, what we want to do is for the best interest of the individual, the family, the community, right? If you choose not to address this at the family level, then even though you talk to the student about this issue, you run program, purity ring program in the school, at home the father is still watching, right? It still didn't solve the problem. So there are certain needs that we need to do to address in the individual level, in the family level, and in the community level with the entire school. So maybe also in the school, we need to run like talk about sexuality, right? Sex education, child safety, protection in the school as well. Yeah, and if we only work with one person, it may not solve the problem. Yeah, so the idea of this case study is to help all of us understand that we need to address in a different level, not only individual level, and go and work with the community. Okay, right. So this is an ecological system theory by Bronfen Benner. So just now we talked about we need to do something with the school, right? And then we need to do something with the family. So, and also we need to do something with the peers. So this is a microsystem, it's an immediate environment that the DAVE is in. Yeah? And we need to engage them so that we are able to address this issue. Okay? So the solution has to be multi-level, multifaceted, from individual to family to community, working together with all relevant stakeholders. Yeah? We need to work together with the parents. We need to work together with the school. Maybe school principals say that, no, I don't want to talk about sex education in the school. If I talk about sex education, more parents will come and find me, oh, why you teach my student about sex? Right? So we need all people, all stakeholders to work together. Yeah? And that is what I term it as a community-based approach, a holistic community. Okay? And of course, in this holistic community, we want to create interaction. We want to create interdependence and reciprocity of different communities or different immediate environment that we have. And we can also turn to John chapter 13, verse 34 to 35, right? Why do we want to work together with one another? A new command I give you, love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another, right? When we really want to love one another or love another person, it's really a relationship. Yeah, we need to work together with one another. We cannot just be ourselves. Yeah, even for the son, Dave, cannot just be for himself or even the individual counseling only for him. Okay, we need to really work with one another. And you see in these two verses, there's one another appeared 3 times, right? We really need to work with one another to have this interaction, to have this interdependence that we can create. Okay, so we talk about the community, right? The immediate environment. How about the individual themselves, right? Dave himself. What we need to do, yeah. So we need to look at a person from a holistic personhood perspective, right? There's a lot of different aspects of a person, yeah, and I term it as there's 5 aspects: spiritual, physical, emotional, relational, and mental. And these 5 different aspects also talk about or relates to our identity, okay, and also our well-being, yeah. I will not go into very deep details about this, okay, but there's a need for us to look at a person, look at Dave from a holistic perspective, okay, when we address a certain issue like pornography. So if we read Mark chapter 12, verse 29 to 31, you all know what verse is this? The greatest commandment. Okay? The most important one, answered Jesus, is this. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this. Love your neighbor as yourself. There's no commandment greater than this, right? So there are 5 things that is belonging to you, right? Your heart, your soul, your mind, your strength, and also your neighbor. Yeah. So if you go back to this 5 aspects, it's your spiritual, your physical, your emotional, your relational, and also your mental. Okay. And we need to understand that these 5 different aspects are interrelated with one another as well. Okay. They affect one another. So for example, if you address this issue with Dave, right? and then Dave go back and have a conflict argument with the mother. Okay? Not only he thinks that I'm a bad child, because he have a conflict already, right? He may also think that I'm a bad person. It affects his own identity, right? It may affect his emotion as well. I feel so bad about myself. Yeah? He may feel guilty about it. Okay? And then in terms of his mental, whatever that he is thinking, I have done something wrong. Yeah? I maybe don't deserve to live, maybe, if he go down in a deeper level. Okay? So all these are interrelated with one another, and we need to understand that and recognize that. Okay? So that is where I shared about the holistic personhood. We need to see a person from a holistic perspective. Okay? And then we need to apply it in a continuum of care. So continuum of care is a model. We take it from a medical perspective, right? So in the medical perspective, there's awareness and prevention, and then there's a response and intervention, and also support and development. Okay? And we need to apply all this, whatever that we talk about, into this, right? So for example, running sex education, running an awareness program in the school, where does this fall into? It's awareness and prevention, right? Yeah. When the school counselor talk to Dave, it's a response and intervention. Okay? And you continue to talk to the students, and then maybe the students themselves, they form a peer support group. That is support and development already. Okay? When a group of friends, they make this pledge, okay, we will have this purity ring we wear together, and we don't do something that is sexually immoral. That is a support and development that the friends have together. Okay? So we need to include this into this continuum of care. So we need to identify different relevant stakeholders and involve them. The level of involvement from the stakeholders depends on their readiness and also their capacity. Sometimes, like for example, just now I mentioned the school don't want to talk about sex education in school. Yeah. So what do we do then? Okay. So, in terms of community mental health, what can we do? First one, we can assess the mental health status of the community. Yeah. For the school, what do they do? What do they think about about mental health, right? And second one, we can also address individuals' mental health. We raise awareness of mental health within the community, whether it's in school or in the neighborhood. Yeah, because we cannot just work in an individual level. Okay. Then, just now we mentioned that we want to look at the strength of the community people, right? So we can also train community people on mental health, right? Engage with the community people. And lastly, community themselves talk about mental health for their own community people. Yeah? So the prerequisite is we need to work with community people, we need to work with supporters, we need to work with volunteers, and also we need to work with professionals. And very importantly, the expert, the professionals have to go down to the ground to be able to understand what is happening on the ground. Okay? And this is something that I thought very nice to learn. It's like a phrase, how do we train people, right? First one is I do, you watch me how I do, right? Second one is I do, you help. Then the third one, you do, I help. Then the last one, you do, I watch. That is when we are able to train up another person and they are able to be self-sustaining. They are able to do it for themselves already. Okay? Right. So very quickly, I'll share a little bit about the practice that our organization have. So this is a holistic education framework for the refugee community in Malaysia. Some of the learning centers, some of the schools, they focus on academic excellence. But focusing on academic excellence may not be the best for them. Why? Even though they are able to graduate, they can't really find a job in Malaysia, right? And also for refugees in Malaysia, most of them, they drop out from school at 14 years old, 16 years old, and then they go out and work already. So there's no point for us to focus so much on academic excellence. So what is more important is, while they have the time in the school, how can we take this opportunity to train them up so that they can survive when they go out to work, right? So this holistic education framework is a contextualized framework for refugee learning centers to adopt in educating the students beyond academic by looking at the holistic well-being, multiple intelligence of the students as we, as a safer and healthier, create a healthier study environment and a school system. So that is what we do currently with the school, refugee learning centers, to look at a person from a holistic perspective, yeah? So that we don't just focus on academic. We also teach them about emotional regulation, how to manage their stress, talk about sex education, talk about child protection, and all these things that they need to know, okay? So in this education framework, what we do is we work with the school to identify the school own identity. What is the values that the school want to create or want to have for their own students? So that in the future, after the students study in the school for 7 years or 10 years, the students can come out and say that, oh, in the school, I learned about love, for example. That is a value that they can bring out. Because for sure, I can promise all of you, you all forgot what your teacher teach in school already, right? But if let's say we are able to carry the value that the school give us or teach us, that is very, very good, okay? Next one is our wellness program. We talk about self-identity, self-awareness, child protection, and so on. And then we also have to create a school system by having teacher training. Because in the refugee learning center, they have their own refugees teacher to teach their own students, right? They are not professionally trained, so they don't know about classroom management. They don't know how to better teach the student as well. So we go in and train the teachers. And we also help them to come up with some school routine, like rules and regulation, or even coming out with some common language that they can have in the school, where they can use all the time, okay? So this is a teacher training that we had previously. And just last Saturday, we have a teacher appreciation night online with the teachers, okay? This group is a Yemeni community. Okay, so next one is trauma care program. We run trauma care program in the community with the refugee. It's a program to train, equip, and also help people to be more trauma aware, trauma informed, and trauma sensitive, okay? And how we work with the people is we work with the community-based organization on the ground. We train up we do this with the community leaders, community mobilizers, and lastly, we do training of trainers so that in the future, these community leaders, they can go back to their own community and do it for their own community members. And that is what we do in our organization, okay? So here are some photos that we have done. Yeah. So ultimately, what is our approach for my organization? It's a holistic community transformation. So just now I talked about holistic personhood. So that is the core of it, right? And outside of the individual, there's a holistic community. And we also need a holistic ecosystem, right? Because refugees, they are living in a broken ecosystem in Malaysia. So we need to create certain platforms, certain opportunity for the refugee communities, okay? And of course, just now we mentioned about the stakeholders, we need to work together, right? So then we need to have the marginalized community themselves to work together, look at their strengths and stuff like that. And also the community-based organization, Malaysia and international social work scene, and also local and global faith-based organization. Because church have a role to play as well, okay? And of course, everything that we do, we want to ensure that it is meaningful, purposeful, and also sustainable. So in this sense, what can the local and global faith-based organization do? Like for example, church. Just now we talked about the continuum of care, right? Maybe in the church, you don't have professionals. Professionals cannot come in and help you do counseling, right? Church cannot help you to come and do counseling. But what church can do is help to support and develop, yeah? Provide a certain system, a certain framework, or just run some programs, yeah, with the community. So for example, what we have done previously, we have online English class. The churches in Singapore teach the Afghan community English, and we do it online. And every quarterly, every 3 months, they come to Malaysia and then connect with the students, yeah? So teaching English is not something about response or intervention. It's not something risky that they need to do, right? So it's just something that the church can do, okay? So this is something that we want to involve the church or even encourage the church to come in and help. maybe in Philippines or in all countries, there are a lot of other NGOs that's working. Yeah, can just see what are the programs that they are already working, how the church can support this thing that they are doing. Okay, all right. So there are some successful experience that we had, but I think we don't have enough time already. I'll not talk about that. So yeah, thank you very much.